Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Frequencies Are Off. And this was a title that I had written down maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I was searching for a lesson. And I was digging through my notes, and I found this title. So a few precepts started coming to mind. So I Spirit, work with me to put some precepts together. So Lord's will, this will be an edifying lesson. What you're looking in front of you is something dealing with frequencies, brain waves. I'm not an expert at, I'm not a neurologist. I'm not an expert in brain or nothing like that. This is just something I found. Different hertz, you have gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta. And according to this graph, it tells you that 25 hertz is awareness, 13 to 25 hertz is alertness, alpha, 8 to 12 hertz is relaxed, 4 to 7 hertz is tired, 1 to 3 hertz is sleep. Like I said, I'm not an expert in brain activity, but we know that these devils have been, studying everything on the planet. And pretty much they've studied all the wavelengths and all the different frequencies. And they know that there are particular frequencies that work certain ways where it could be positive to a person or it could be negative to a person. This is why certain music are played at a particular hertz, that intensifies certain, energies within someone's spirit, and they know this. That's why they play the music at a different tempo or at a different hertz, at a different frequency, because it knows it puts you in a particular mood, But the frequencies of today of this world are off, totally off. And this is why, things are all messed up the way they are, because the left-hand energy is what's ruling this planet. Now, I looked up the word frequency, and the word frequency, it says the rate at which something occurs or is repeated over a particular period of time or in a given sample. The rate in which a vibration occurs that constitutes a wave. It says either in a material, as in sound waves, or in an electromagnetic field, as in radio waves and light, usually measured per second. And pretty much what they've done is, this is why everything is going smart now. Everything is going smart now because they are able to control the frequencies of these things. That's why they're able to shut it down. They're able to turn up certain frequencies, turn certain frequencies down. Because you got to remember that these devils have been testing this stuff because they've accomplished a diligent search. And they've been doing this in animals. They've been doing this in people. They've been using drugs, and they've been using different frequencies to intensify or bring down people, depending on what frequency they put out there. And the vibration of the world is under a satanic, demonic, wicked vibration. And this is why, let's go real quick to Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Why? Because the earth is under a total different vibration. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Why? Because they search out iniquities, like the scriptures say. And everything that they do is geared into bringing people into a more and more depressed state so that they can control them, because they know that someone who is depressed is easier to control than someone that, is in a good state of mind or a good frame of mind. And this is why they do the things that they do. Salakia. So let's go back to this. It says the rate at which something occurs or is repeated over a particular period of time or in a given sample. And pretty much what they do is this is a constant change. It's a gradual change. It's not something that they do right away. It's something that they do a little here, a little there. When we look up the word inculcate, right? The word inculcate is to instill an attitude, idea, or habit by persistent instruction. So inculcate is to impress upon the mind by constant repetition. It's something that's repeated over and 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 over again by these devils until it becomes second nature in a person. Now you could do that in righteousness, but in this society they do it in wickedness because the frequency of this society is totally off. Yep, this is a good one the brother put up. When the Proverbs 29:16, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fall. And that's where they're heading. So transgressions are increased because the people that this world is the people that are controlling this world, are controlling it in a wicked manner, a wicked way. All right. So, which leads us, we've dealt with the word inculcate, which is to impress upon the mind by constant repetition. When you impress something or imprint something, you're making an image. You're making an imprint. You're like if you take a brand, right, and you work it hard enough into a tree, that impression is going to be left there. And when you do something over and over and over and over again, pretty much it enters into the subconscious. And this is why they do those little, changes in the frequency. They know, like these musicians, they tell them, look, play the music at such and such hertz, and it's going to penetrate into these people's spirit, And that's why you have a lot of people that do the things that they do, because the influence of those wavelengths, of those frequencies, causes them to be like in a hypnotic spell. That's why when they come out of it, after they finish what they've done, they have no clue that they did it, because they were under a trance. Much like the Manchurian Candidate situation. So it leads us to the word gradualism, which these devils control Wikipedia, they control the web, they control, Google. So they're going to say this. It says gradualism, from Latin gradus, which means step. Another word is degree. It says is a hypothesis. So they're saying that this is a hypothetical thing. It's a hypothesis. It's not really real. But it is real. Because you've seen how people are told something over and over and over again till they actually believe it. Or you put somebody in a particular situation over and over again, eventually they're going to become the thing that you're trying to make them become. It says a theory or a tenet, assuming that change comes about gradually, or that variation is gradual in nature and happens over time as opposed to in large steps. And that's exactly what it is. They have uniformitarianism, incrementalism, and reformism are similar concepts, which is the same thing. When you reform somebody, what do? You're not making them, change overnight. It's a gradual thing. Incrementalism is like in increments, a little at a time. Uniformitarianism, same thing. I never looked this word up, but uniform is one form. It says also known as the doctrine of uniformity, or the uniformitarian principle, is the assumption that the same natural laws and processes that operate in our present day scientific observations have always operated in the universe, whatever. All right. So with that, let's get into the first precept, which is in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, which is a very important chapter, by the way, especially in the times that we're living in now, because it gives a blow by blow as to what's going to be taking place, who's going to be ruling, when the end will come, things that will happen, the truth being brought out, these shortages that are being manipulated are even spoken of in this very chapter. So this chapter is a very heavy chapter and a very important chapter to know. So let's jump down to the 11th verse. So this is Ezra speaking to the angel. I answered then and said, O Lord, that bears rule, if I have found favor in thy sight, I beseech thee, show thy servant the end of thy tokens, because the prophets wanted to know the end of the tokens, or the end signs, or the end times, because they understood that once the end came, then the kingdom would be, glory would appear, which is the kingdom of heaven. whereof thou showest me part the last night. So he answered and said unto me, stand up upon thy feet, and hear the mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where thou standest shall not be moved. Excuse me. And therefore, when it speaketh, be not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood. Right? Because there is a certain period or portion of time that this earth was given for each individual to rule. And the earth is at the point now where it's starting to, self-destruct, because the natural things that were put in it by the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, are being taken out of their natural course. Matter of fact, I had this for later, but let's get it now. Let's go to the book of Psalms, the 82nd chapter, and the 5th verse. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. So no matter what you do, these devils are going to continue to do, what they do. Even though they see everything collapsing around them, they're going to keep going because of their greed and that demonic spirit that they got in them. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. And that's why the earth is pretty much turning against this man, because what's happening is that all of the natural things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai put into this earth, to create a peaceful, ebb and flow, meaning everything flows properly, they're disturbing it by taking out things that work to remove toxic things from the earth. All of the animals and the fish and, certain birds and things of that nature that are used to clean up the earth, these devils are killing them and having people eat them. So what's happening is that there's an unbalance in the force, so to speak. There's not enough of these scavenger fish and so on and so forth to clean up the ocean, to clean up the earth, because these devils are slaughtering them for greed, to make money, to feed it to people who these people that are eating this shit is destroying them. So that's why everything is out of course. So, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood. And why? Because the speech of these things trembleth and is moved. Why? Because it's starting to speak. And the more it speaks, the more chaos it brings. Because at the end of the day, when the Lord judges this place, the final judgment is going to be destruction. So everything that's being done on this in this earth, on this plane, is being done in a form to where it's bringing forth all manner of wickedness, so that the Most High can judge this place. It says, and why? I've just read that. For it knoweth that the end of these things must be changed. There has to be a change. Because if there's no change, this place would be destroyed. Yahushua said, if the Lord didn't shorten the time, there would be no flesh left to be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Because this place is just totally corrupt. And if this devil is allowed to keep going, the place will destroy, right? Somebody put in short circuit head ass. I don't know what that last part means, but short circuit. Everything will short circuit because the earth is under a vibration, under a frequency. And everything has electromagnetic, however the term goes, connections, everything has an energy. That energy is electricity. The brother put 1 Corinthians 14:40, let all things be done decently and in order. Why? Because if you go out of order, there's going to be a clash. There's going to be a problem because the cycle is going to be broken. It's not going to run properly. And this is what's happening. The earth is under that demonic vibration to where things are not running properly. And this is the reason why the Lord destroyed the earth in the first place, the first earth, by water, which the earth wasn't destroyed. It was life on earth, But this time is going to be by fire, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be dead. But you're going to have this time, the difference is from back then. Back then there were no survivors on the earth itself, except for Noah and his family. that were in the ark, and the animals that were in the ark, and the fowl and all that were in the ark. But this time there will be survivors left because they're not going to repent of the things that they're going to do. You know, these demonic things that they're doing, they're not going to repent of that. And they're thinking in their demonic heart that they're going to be able to, you know, continue on from where they left off. But you thought wrong. Me and you, one-on-one, you thought wrong. Inside joke. So it says, and it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. This is Yahushua speaking. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, because Yahushua is the one that Yahweh is sending to do this. And the inhabitants, the first inhabitant, or the head of the planet, so to speak, are the Edomites, because the earth is in their power. You know, as we're going to read. So this place has to be overturned in order for the kingdom to be established and righteousness to be established. This is why the Apostle Peter, matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let's go to the book of 2 Peter 3 and 13th verse, I believe it is. Yep. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. It's not an actual new heaven and a new earth. It's a refreshed or renewed heaven and a new earth. And it's going to be ruled in righteousness. Because the frequencies are going to be changed. Because the inhabitants or the rulers or the landlords are going to be changed. All right? So going back, verse 19, 2 Ezra 6 and 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them. See, so the Lord is going to draw nigh. He's going to visit them that dwell upon the earth and make an inquisition of them, what they be to have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion is fulfilled, and our affliction is just about up. Jacob's trouble is the ending of it. But they've hurt unjustly the people of the Lord. You know, they've hurt us unjustly, and they've hurt the earth unjustly because they have the means and the financial ability to dispose of, you know, these toxins and different things, you know, in a manner in which it will not harm the earth, but they don't want to do that because it costs too much. So they rather line their pockets and destroy the earth, which lets you know what type of man we're dealing with. The basis of men, the foolish, the churl. That word sounds crazy. This is a good scripture. Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord. This is America, which destroyeth all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee. Right, and you've destroyed all the earth. Hold on for a second. Yeah, Salaki about that. I had to take that call. So behold, I am against the old destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyeth all the earth. And the ancient Babylonian Empire did not have power over the whole earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee and roll thee down from the rocks, because you're going to be taken out of your position, and will make thee a burnt mountain, because that is the judgment of America, Babylon the Great, to become a burnt mountain. So going back to 2 Ezra 16 and 20, it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished. So the Lord said that there will be certain things happening on the earth when the time of this change will come. Then will I show these tokens. So the Lord said there would be signs for us to know that this is the time when the Lord is going to visit this place, destroy this devil, bring down his empire and the empire of these nations, and set up the kingdom of heaven and deliver the nation of Israel. The book shall be opened before the firmament, which is the Bible being opened up, in the firmament, which is the so-called ozone layer. What you have up there are the satellites that are emitting those different signals. It says, and they shall see all together. So that's why people are waking up all over the planet, and this devil is being exposed all over the place. Right? So this is what's going to happen. So, matter of fact, let's read on. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. Yeah, and you have preemies, and even in these times, they have the technology where if the baby is born way too early, they can save the baby. This is all technology being increased. This is all to fulfill the words of Yahoshua. Then it says also, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, which we're seeing that happening now. It's the government, under the orders of the international bankers, of course, through these corporations, are ordering a lot of these farmers to destroy their crops, to destroy their livestock, and they're paying them to do that because this is being done purposely to control the people, because hunger is the biggest motivator outside of fear, And it says, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And this is what's happening, because whatever store they may have, which is cheaper for them to have the supply chain the way it is, because they don't have to pay for extra storage. And this is the problem. Some places do have storage, but most places don't nowadays, because the way they set it up is where the chain supply was so timely that you can order, you can need something and have it that day, have it within a couple of hours or an hour or so, depending on, how far the distribution was. But now the way it's setting it up is where all these, whatever they have, whatever little they do have in store is running out. That's why you're seeing pictures of food on shelves and in the produce section, and it's like it's a fake out. It's a mirage, so that the people won't get nervous, because if you go into a store and you see a whole lot of shelves empty, the nature of a person is what? To buy as much stuff out of there as possible, so that them and their family can be okay, and fuck everybody else. That's the attitude. Survival of the fittest. All right. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And this is what's coming. Jacob's trouble, martial law. This is why they're getting everybody used to seeing military men helping people out, during the time of 9/11 or 9/11, when you had the military, the National Guard all up and down New York, all in the train stations, Penn Station, with machine guns, just getting people used to seeing that military presence, because that's what they're going to bring. Martial law, which is the military takes over the powers of the government, and they're the ones that dictate, the laws, so to speak. It says, at that time shall friend fight one against another like enemies. Why? Because there's going to be shortages of everything, and the earth, and they're not going to be fighting. Oh, well, you got 2 flat screen TVs, I got none. You need to break me off one. No, it's going to be because of food. It says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, because it's going to be a time such as never was since there was a nation unto this very time. And this is what's happening. It says, the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Yeah, so they can turn the water off. And this is why everything is going what? The smart way. Smart lights, these different smart lights, smart phones, smart TVs, smart meters. They all emit different frequencies. The lights themselves emit different frequencies. You've heard brothers speak about this before. Because everything they want it under their control. And that's why they're making up this bullshit about, people hacking the energy supply. Out of all things, they're not hacking the Fed. They're not hacking the Federal Reserve. They're online. How come they're not hacking the Federal Reserve? They're not hacking these Edomite financial places. They're hacking into, so-called hacking into the different energy sources or power grids. Because it's all a setup. It's all set up to get the people to believe that, so that when that happens, they're focusing their mind, oh, the mother effers at so-and-so and such and such, they did this. Just like they got the people to be upset with the Muslims, back then, because of so-called 911. Systematic, man. It says, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. Because the end of the world would be Esau ruling, Yahushua kicking him off the throne, and the elect of the nation of Israel being delivered. That's it. And the men that are received shall see it, who have not tasted death from their birth. This is dealing with the elect. Beginning with the prophets, so on and so forth. And the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turn into another meaning. Why? Because right now the vibration is off. So there has to be a switch that has to be flipped. The off switch has to be flipped off on the frequency of wickedness, and the on switch has to be flicked on the frequency of righteousness. And overnight it's going to change. There's going to take a period of time, to build the kingdom up itself. But these nations are going to be put in order. All right, so now let's go from there real quick before we read on. Let's go to the book of... So how is this change going to come? How is this change going to come? Well, we just read about one of them dealing with the internet, the satellites, But prior to the satellites, how did the change come? How did the meaning change? Well, by the spirit entering into a man by the name of Elder Abba Bivens, to bring out the gospel that we're teaching right now at this very day. Malachi 4 and 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Now, we know Elijah came 2,000 years ago when Yahushua was on the scene. Yahushua even said it was John the Baptist. So back then it wasn't the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So that means that he would come again in this time before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And what would he do? And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children. Why? Why does he have to turn the heart of the fathers to the children and the heart of the children to the fathers? Because the world is under a different vibration, a different frequency. So the Lord had to send his prophet and his prophets to do and bring out the truth, to be able to change the frame of mind and the thinking that his elect had, in this world. Because remember, the scriptures say that the whole world wandered after the beast. So the Lord had to send his prophets to change the minds of the elect so that they can be sealed with his word and be delivered. So this is why we see what's going on right now in the world. The frequencies of wickedness are at an all-time high. But in the midst of all that, wickedness, in the midst of all that nastiness, the frequencies are not affecting the elect. Why? Because they are sealed with a seal that is impenetrable. It is impregnable. Just had a precept that came to mind. Hopefully, Lord's will to come back. The doves took over for the moment. So, I'm trying to think of what that precept was. So everything is being changed now. All right. If it comes back, I'll bring it out, Lord's will. Okay. It says, "Least I come and smite the earth with a curse." Why? Because the Lord is about to destroy this place. And the only reason why he hasn't destroyed it fully, or hasn't destroyed it already, because he's bound by his word and he has to seal his elect. Because once the elect is sealed, the destruction, the angels are going to let go. Right now, they're holding the four winds back until the time when the elect are sealed. Once the elect is sealed, all bets are off. All right, so let's go from there to the next precept. Like I said, I had a precept in mind, but I can't think of it right now. All right, so back to 2 Ezra 6:27. "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched." And this evil frequency is going to be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And how it is going to be? Is it going to be quenched? By the truth. And the elect will be able to escape this truth. I'm sorry, this wicked world by the truth. I'm trying to think of this other precept. I think it's no, you know what it is? It's Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10 and 20, I believe it is. Let's see. Yep. It says, "A remnant will return. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob," such as are escaped of what? Out of this frequency, this demonic frequency, "shall know." Oh, the scripture came back. Ezekiel chapter 9. So let's read this again. "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them," which is who? Esau, the Edomites, "but shall stay upon the Lord Yahoshua, the Holy One of Israel," not the other nations, "in truth." Because the Lord is going to put the Spirit on his prophets to bring it out. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. You know? And that's how the Lord deals on the earth. That's how the Lord speaks on the earth, through the mouth of his prophets. Okay? So, back in 2 Ezra 6:27, "For evil shall be put out." Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go to Ezekiel 9 and 4. "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, or Jerusalem, which are the Israelites, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." And this is a different mark from the one in Revelation, because this mark is in Hebrew. The mark in Revelation is in Greek. You know, and they're two different meanings to this word. That's why you got to look up the word. You can't just go by the English. Mark, the word is thawah. It says desire, mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. So this is the exemption from judgment. There's a particular seal inside the elect that is activated once they hear the truth. And once they hear the truth, it's like when those of you that work on cars and do bondo, you know, once you put the two components together, you know, you have to put the bondo on quick because it hardens. Well, that's what happens. Once the elect hear the truth, that ingredient inside of them, that mark, activates and they become sealed, hardened to this world, to the fuckery of Esau. That's why it says, if at all possible, they would deceive the very elect, because these devils are very cunning. They're more subtle than any beast of the field, and the Lord made them such. All right. Now let's go to Job 9. Let's go to Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and who is in control of the earth? The Edomites. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, and not wherein who is he? So if the so-called white man, the Edomites, didn't cover the faces of the Heavenly Father, His Son, the angels, the Israelites, so on and so forth, who and where is He? Who did this? Was it the Moabites? Was it the Ammonites? Was it the Hamites? Was it the Ishmaelites? Was it the Elamites? Was it the Japhites? Who did it? Because obviously this is speaking about somebody. And when you go through a process of elimination, it points to nobody else but the so-called white man, the Edomites. All right. So now let's go from there to Job 13, basic scriptures. And 4, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. They're all forgers of lies. They've carefully crafted these lies. And this is why now when their authority is being challenged and questioned, they have a problem, because they've been used to ruling so long through that deception that now that their shit is falling apart and they're being questioned, they have an attitude about it. They're doing nasty things. They clipping truth, from the streets. They're clipping truth from the very vehicle used to push the truth out. The truth of, of the Israelites, what we teach, and also different things around the world, depending on what they teach, whether it's economical, social, whatever the case may be. A lot of dirt is coming out on these devils, and they can't handle the truth. So let's go from there. When did all this begin? Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Satan is the so-called white man, the Edomites, beginning with these international banking families. They're the head of the whole thing. And shall go out to what? To deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth. So from that time, they've deceived the nations in the 4 quarters of the earth. Remember, it said that the world wandered after the beast. All right? And through that power that they got to get in position to rule, and through that deception, they had the world captivated. They had the world in a spell. Matter of fact, let me look up that word spell. I don't like the word star. Let me look up the word spell. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Let me check this one out. A spell is a series of words that are magical powers. If you're under a spell, then what you do is out of your control. Your thoughts and actions are dictated by the spell. See, this is why the frequencies are off. This is why there's a constant pushing for these things in your mind to be inculcated, to be pushed in there, because you're under a spell, under a demonic vibe. And when we read Isaiah chapter 60, verse 2, it says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. And that's what we see going on. Gross darkness is covering the people. All right. Now let's go from there to the book of Ephesians. I'm pretty sure a lot of you brothers know about this already. But for those that don't know, Ephesians 6 and 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So it's not a flesh and blood fight or battle. It says, but against principalities, which is a hierarchy of demons, against powers. These are rulerships. These are demonic powers, but also the people on the planet Earth that are working directly with those spirits. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So when we look up this word, rulers of the darkness of this world, which the main part or the main word that we're looking for is rulers, right here. The darkness of this world, meaning what? The cover, that gross darkness that has been spread. How is it being spread? Let's go to the word rulers. Cosmokrator, right? Cosmo is world, organization, right? And krator is to do or to make. So it says Lord of the world, prince of this age, which is Esau. The earth is given into the hand of the what? The wicked. Who are the wicked identified as in the Bible? The Edomites. Esau is the end of the world. What? It says the devil and his demons, which they are working through their physical counterparts, which is Esau, the so-called white man. Matthew 13 and 38. It says, the field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked one, which are the Edomites. You know? So Esau, his daddy is Satan. This is why when you see whatever they do, it's so demonic, because they're working on the left-hand side of the Most High. And there's a imbalance in the earth. The force is imbalanced because wickedness is reigning right now. And this is why when you get into their world, you have to do all that demonic stuff in order to prosper. You know, you go to the point of being past feeling, like speaks about the Gentiles or the Israelite foreigners. They were past feeling, meaning they did that thing so much that they had no more conscience. You know, it became second nature. And this is what's happening in this world. All right, so going back, so it says Cosmocrator, which is the rulers of the darkness of this world. And the darkness is that heavy veil that has been spread, as we read in the book of Isaiah 60 and 2, the gross darkness. Now let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2. I knew that was going to happen because it got separated. And 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of the devices and the things that these devils are doing, because the Lord opened up our minds. He opened up our spiritual minds to be able to see. But now for the rest of the world, let's go to 2 Corinthians 4. Basic fundamental building block scriptures. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And why are they lost? And why is the gospel hid to them? In whom the God of this world, or the Cosmocrator of this world, has blinded the minds of them which believe not. And notice the word God is small case, because they are the rulers of this world. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And the word there for God is theos. You know, a God, see, small case, or goddess, a general name of deities, divinities. Let's see if they refers to councils, his counsels, into whatever can in any respect be like. See, whatever can in any respect be likened unto the Most High or resemble him in any way. The Most High is representative of vice regent of magistrates and judges, and these devils have been given the power over the planet to be magistrates and judges. And this is why they wield that godlike power on the earth. Because in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not. Because if they believed, they would be sealed, and they would be healed, and they would be delivered, meaning with Israelites. Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahoshua, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. And if it did that, what happened? They have to be Israelites, and they would be saved. All right, now let's go from there to the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3. And we'll start at the top. We're going to read a couple of verses. Finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified. 2 Thessalonians 2. I thought that sounded a little funny. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of the Lord Yahushua, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Yahushua is at hand. Because you were going to have a lot of false prophets, a lot of false teachers, a lot of false teachings that were going to try to pervert the gospel of Yahushua. You had it back then, and you definitely have it now. It says, Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And this happened back during 70 AD, beginning around 67, 66, 67 AD, around there. And the major fall was in 70 AD. And at that time, it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, because at that time, who the devil was or is was revealed, which was the abomination of desolation, which was the Romans, which are also the Greeks, which are all the different so-called European nations that were taken over by Esau today. That's who the devil is. Now you have Israelites that look like them, and you also have other nations that look like them. This is why the Lord, Yahoshua, and the angels are coming to do a separation, to separate the Israelites from the rest of the world. And this time the elect, and then the rest of the ones that don't make it will come back through the elect. And then you're going to have so-called stragglers around the world of Israelites that are going to be brought to Jerusalem, to Israel, when that time comes, by these heathen nations. It tells you that I believe that's Isaiah the 66th chapter and other chapters. It says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, and that's what they do, or that is worship. Who is worshiped more as being the Heavenly Father than the so-called white man, the Edomites? The answer to that is no one, because they set themselves up in that power, and they've deceived the world from the time of the Renaissance. It says, so that he is a power, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Who else is doing this? Process of elimination. The world is not worshiping in a Chinese Jesus. They're not worshiping a Japanese Jesus. They're not worshiping in Ishmaelite Jesus or Arab Jesus or East Indian Jesus. You know? I mean, I have to say it that way so people can understand. They're not worshiping a Messiah like that. They're worshiping a so-called white Messiah. Which they are a Messiah, but they are a Messiah on the left-hand side. The wicked, son of perdition. Satan, the devil, that old serpent, that dirty vagabond, that fugitive, that old crooked serpent, that devious, treacherous, low, the scum of the earth. All right, so now let's go from there to Ezekiel 28. We're going to read 2 verses out of here. Ezekiel 28 and 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. Now, anointed means what? Chosen. A Messiah. This is a name for Messiah. Cherub is an angel, but cherub is also, it means mighty one. So they were the anointed or the chosen mighty one that what? That covereth. And this is what you've done. You put blinders on the earth. But the Lord removed those blinders to his men, the prophets. And they in turn are revealing you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. So the word for covereth is the word sakak. To hedge, fence about, shut in. And that's what you did. You put a fence around everything. You put a fence around the truth and then plastered it over with lies. But guess what? Truth is stronger than lies. So it keeps beating at the lies and keeps beating at the lies. And before you know it, truth starts coming through the lies and the lies start to vanish, start to, cower away once truth steps in the ring, baby. Because when it comes to the world reigning champion, truth wins every time. Colt 45 works every time. It says to block, overshadow, screen, stop the approach, shut off, cover. And that's what they did. You shut off the truth. But the truth was never shut off. It was just plastered over by false lies, that untempered mortar. And that untempered mortar is being broken down to the very last compound. See how that sounds? It's like it says to screen, cover oneself, protector, and that's why they have gatekeepers, because they're protectors over it. And this is why they get so upset. You got Vocab Malone coming on the scene, acting like as if he's an authority, but he's getting his ass spanked all over the place by the Spirit. You know? Because you don't have the truth, man. That's what the Lord said unto the wicked. The Lord said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that you should take his covenants in your mouth? Seeing you hate instructions and cast his words behind them. You don't deal with the Bible. You hear Elder Pastor say this all the time. You know, when you have these wacky-tacky Christians that have these so-called live events or different videos that come out, people are not putting scriptures in. They're just talking a whole bunch of caca. All right, so you brothers see the screen cover. They weaved it together, but the Lord is unweaving it. And that's unbelievable. So it says, thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, you the one that covered everything up, and I have set thee so, because the Most High gave you that power. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who gave it? The Most High gave it. The Most High gives, and the Most High taketh away. And he's about to take your place out of here, man. It says, thou was upon the holy mountain of the Most High. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. You've always been around Israel, the sons of God back then. All the way in you know, different time periods. And you're doing the same thing now. Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee. So when was iniquity found in thee? You were the serpent. You know, that spirit that was in you when Adam and Eve had sex, they had Cain. That spirit came into Cain. Cain rose up and slew his brother. Iniquity was found in him, because if he did the right thing, he would have not been in that predicament. But he didn't do the right thing, and guess what? Sin lieth at his door. He is the man of sin, the son of perdition. So now let's go from there to Daniel 7 and 25. It says, and he, meaning America, shall speak great words against the Most High, and that's all they do. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. You know the history. And think to change times and laws. That's why the vibration of the earth is off. Because the laws are not kept. New laws are being put in there. That's why the Lord said that you hate instructions. And that's why your kingdom is about to be destroyed, because you didn't follow the instruction book. Although you took the instruction book unto yourself and called yourself Christians, called yourself the people of the Most High, called yourself the Most High himself and his son and the people of the Lord and the angels of the Lord. But you didn't follow not one rule in there. So now you're about to be judged. And they shall be given into his hands until the time of times and the dividing of times. And this is why during the time of the late 60s, a man by the name of Elder Albert Bivens came on the scene, and the Lord gave him the message that we're teaching today. And this has revolutionized the whole world, you know, because you have people that are for this that we're speaking about, and you have a lot of people that are against it. But it's a talk on people's lips, because they're seeing that the scriptures are speaking, but they can't accept it. And being that so-called white supremacy has been ruling for so long, they can't believe that they're losing their grip. And they can't believe that the very Bible that they use to justify their wickedness is testifying against them. So it says, oh, that was it on that. Let's go from there to Isaiah 24. Everything is dictated by the Bible. That's a lesson right there. Everything is dictated by the Bible. If any brother wants a lesson or title, everything is dictated by the Bible. Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. Why? Because the inhabitants, the people that are rooting it, the landlords, are destroying it because they're not following the guidelines. You hear Elder Apostle Gabar speak about the land Sabbaths all the time. They don't keep that. That's why you have to have all type of pesticides, because the earth itself, if it was sown correctly, it would give off the stuff to where the insects wouldn't eat all of it. No, the insects are still going to eat, but they wouldn't be able to eat everything. But everything, the nutrients in a lot of these vegetables and fruits and stuff are lacking because of the over farming of them. And that's why they have to genetically splice them in order to make them, so that the pests and the bugs and stuff don't eat them. But then that changes up the makeup of a person because you're putting shit in your body that don't belong there. Fucking devils, boy. The world languisheth and fadeth away. Why? Because of these devils that are ruling. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Yeah, they're haughty and they're lacking. They're proud as hell, but you're destroying the very earth that you have to live on. The very surface that you have to live on, you're destroying. So how wise really are you? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. And it is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Because the ones that are ruling it are given the wrong energy, the wrong vibration, the wrong frequency. So the majority of the people on the planet are following your lead because you're supposed to be the judge. You're supposed to be the leader. And you are the leader for now. And you're destroying everything and everybody in it. But you ain't going to touch the elect. It says, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So you're breaking that chain. When you broke the law, when you did these things, it caused a chain of events that set the world in a self-destructive pattern, a self-destructive way. So you have to be put down, man. There's no other way around it. So let's go from there to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and 4. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. And this is why it's like that. Because the law is slack, because the people that are running the world, that are supposed to be given the right judgments, are not. They're pushing the right judgments to the back and pushing their wicked judgment and agenda to the front. So let's go from there. Yeah, that's 2nd Ezra 11. That's speaking about the ancient Roman Empire, for the brother that put that up. That's not dealing with America. That's what Nate and them teach. It's dealing with the ancient Roman Empire. So let's go from there to Psalms 80, which we already read that. So let's go to Psalms 11. Psalms 11 and 3. If the foundations be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So that's why the Lord has to change this place, because if not, there will be no flesh left to be saved. And let's go to Psalms 125, which I have this on my list. I saw a brother put it up earlier. Psalms 125 and 3. For the rod of the wicked, which is what? The correction of the wicked, shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous. Because if these devils are allowed to continue to do what they're doing, they will corrupt everything and everybody. That's why Yahoshua said, unless the time is shortened, there will no flesh be left to be saved. Lest the righteous put forth his hands unto iniquity. Why? Because the ways of the wicked seduce the righteous. Remember, they're more subtle than any beast of the field. And the Most High has set them such. Now let's go to Psalms 58 and 1. It says, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men, you Edomites? Do you judge rightly? No. Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. And this is why the earth is in the condition that it's in, and under the vibration that it's under, and under the frequency that it's under. Because you've pushed that vibration upon the world by your constant doing what you do, gradual, and just keep pushing and pumping that, and humping and pumping and dumping that bullshit on the planet. And people are following behind you. Because you're the devil, pretty much. And they get upset when you call him the devil. You only get mad at the truth. It said the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Because they're not going to listen, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. The prophets are out. This is why in the parable that Yahushua spoke about Lazarus and the rich man, when the rich man told Abraham, if somebody could be sent back from the dead, then they were here. What was he told? He said they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. Because the book is there. The prophets are here. They're not going to listen. Why? Because they will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. And there's no one that charms as wisely as the Heavenly Father's prophets. All right, so let's go from there to Isaiah 29. And we're going to go back. Isaiah 29 and 14, I believe. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do, 15. Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's what you've done. You've made the world believe that you were these pious people, that you're the Israelites, But then what you did was you hid the Lord's counsel and you brought out your counsel. And you thinking that you're hiding it from the Heavenly Father, which shows you how bugged out you are. Oh, that's heavy. The brother put the same precept up just now. That's heavy. It says, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Why? Because you do everything in secrecy. And you don't think that people are seeing you do the things that you're doing. You think that because there's no eyes on you that no one can see you. The Most High's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. His eyes are everywhere. His angels are everywhere. What did it say? It said, don't curse the king, no, not in your thoughts. Least that which hath wings tell the matter. So anywhere and everywhere you find yourself, the angels are there. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. So in other words, the way you turned everything upside down, when the potter is making some pottery, he has a clay. Nobody knows what's going to come out. Sometimes he might not even know. And whatever comes out, after he finishes with that clay, boom, it's already made. He sands it down or whatever he does, cleans it, washes it, sands it down, paints it. And then people look at it and say, wow, that's a nice piece. Well, your turning of things upside down is going to be esteemed like a potter's clay. In other words, it's going to be known, and eventually what's going to happen is going to be broken to shivers. Let's look up the word esteemed. The word is chashab. To think, plan, esteem, calculate, invent, make a judgment, imagine, count. To think, account, to plan, devise, man, to charge, impute, reckon, to esteem, value, regard. So it's going to be regarded. It's going to be seen because you're going to be exposed as a potter's clay. So it's going to be made public because a potter usually when he makes pottery is to be displayed. So your wickedness is being displayed right now. You're on display for your wickedness. Shameful spewing is being spewed on your glory. So it says, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Right, so the Most High made you, fool. You've been tailor-made to be destroyed. You've been tailor-made to be the wicked. You're the axe. The Most High is the lumberjack, so to speak. He's the one that's swinging you. He created you, fool. Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Right. If you have a home or a building that's been framed out, the person that framed it, once it's finished, the builder can't say, yo, you ain't have no understanding, man. Why you build me like this? That show you that these devils, as so-called wise as they are, they're really stupid. They're the churl. They're the stupid, basest men on the planet. But yet they have the world believing that they're so righteous. Come on, man. Salak it for a minute. All right, Salakia. It says, "Oh, shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding." So let's go from there back to Psalms 58. We're almost done. Verse 6. It says, "Break their teeth, O Most High, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lion, O Lord." Yeah, because their power. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's breaking their power. What is their most powerful mechanism besides deception? Secrecy. And that secrecy is being broken. Let them melt away as the waters which run continually, because their kingdom is going to melt away once Yahushua comes back. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in sunder, because that's the very thing that you use to bully the world is the very same thing that the Lord is going to use to bring your judgment. That same sword you were blessed with is the same sword that's going to bring you down. As a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away, because eventually they will pass away after their 1,000-year period of slavery. Like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Yeah, because you're not going to ever inhabit the world ever again. You will not have that wicked brood, that infested demonic serpent seed of yours spread around the world anymore. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath, because the Most High is going to send his son with the angels and the chariots. They're going to fuck you up. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance, and we're going to be laughing. Lord's will we be the elect. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, because payback is coming. Payback is a female dog. So that a man shall say, verily there is a reward for the righteous. Yeah, because all of the hell that we've gone through, there is going to be rewarded. Verily he is a power that judgeth in the earth. Then all of that, damn man, why the Lord just don't hurry up? It's all going to be gone. All tears are going to be gone. Because the Most High is going to judge this devil. And there is a reward for being righteous. But there's also a lot of persecution and misery that comes with it. But at the end of that, the Lord said he's not unrighteous to forget our deeds in love. So let's go from there to Isaiah chapter 60. Back to Isaiah 60. Is that it? Nope. Isaiah 60. Let's read that again. Now we can get a better understanding. Arise, shine, for thy light is come. Now that veil is ripped away, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee, which is what? This truth, the light. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness of people. And that's what happened. Because the earth right now is still under a demonic vibration, a demonic frequency, although the truth is out there. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And that's what's happening. And that's why it says, and when they see thee, they shall be afraid with terrible fear. When they see the men of the Lord standing upon their feet and bringing out the words of the Lord against them. It says, that's it on that. So let's go from there to Isaiah 25, basic fundamental building block scriptures. Deep enough. Isaiah 25 and 7. And he will destroy in this mountain, which what? America. So from America, which is the top top government over all nations, the truth is going to come out. They're going to be exposed. The face of the covering cast over all people, because the truth that's being taught and spread around the world, where did it come from? It came from America. Harlem, New York, to be more specific. Where this truth started to be pushed out. And look at the fruit of it now. That small mustard seed, look what it's grown to. It's compassed the four corners of the earth. It's out there. Prophecies are moving forward. There has never been a time of prophecy like this time now. That's another lesson right there. There has never been a time of prophecy like now. It says, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So the Lord is ripping that down by his truth. Now let's go from there. And so the word is out. But you're going to have those seducing spirits, those naysayers, those ones that's going to pop up and, and try to so-called debunk the truth, which that's a joke. And you're going to have people that get caught up in that. You see many individuals from Great Millstone get caught up in that. And they used to be a part of Great Millstone. Now they're heading down the wrong path. They're heading back down a worse path than they were when they were on this path. Proverbs 24 and 21. It says, my son, fear thou the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. Because the truth is already out. 1 Peter 4:11. This is why it's important to stay that course. If, Lord's will, we be the elect. 1 Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. And this is the main point I wanted to get in this scripture. The words of the Lord. Isaiah 8 and 20. Again, basic, fundamental, building block scriptures that are deep enough for you guys that like to go deep. Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So the glorious gospel of Yahushua won't shine unto them, because the God of this world has blinded their minds. Because the frequency that this world is under, they could not break that spell. Because they didn't have that thawah in them, that mark of the Lord. Let's go to 2 John. I ended with this. 2 John, verse 7, 1 and 7. It says, for many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Yahushua has come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. And you even have those that deceivers that deny Yahushua. And you're seeing that happening over and over again. Look to yourselves that we lose not those things which we have wrought, but that we receive a full reward, because there is a reward coming. It says, whosoever transgresseth and abideth not in the doctrine of Yahushua hath not the Most High. He that abideth in the doctrine of Yahushua, he hath both the Father and the Son, because it's important to have both the Father and the Son. You have those individuals out there that treating Yahushua like he was just some flunky or something, some insignificant individual, a peer or something like that. Are you out of your fucking mind? This is our Savior. The great sacrifice that he did, that should be extolled to the clouds. It says, if there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. For he that biddeth him Godspeed is a partaker of his evil deeds. So that's why you avoid them. You shun them. Drive them back to their jungle lair. Because they're pretty much there of their father, the devil. That's why Yahushua said that. So pretty much, with that, this has been, the frequencies are off. We looked at the word frequency, which actually I let go. People are under a spell, which is the same thing. Your thought says a spell is a series of words that has magical powers. If you're under a spell, then what you do is out of your control. Your thoughts and actions are dictated by the spell. See? So with that, I pray that your brothers and your few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.